My name is Wangari Kariuki. I'm the shelter director here at KSPCA Nairobi. I have been here for 3.5 years now, and I love the job.
Okay. And pet cremation is still relatively new.
Yes.
Can you take us through the whole process? Like, how did you start it? Like, what led you to start this cremation of pets?
It's an interesting story because I actually came in as when I applied to work at KSPCA, I actually applied to be the animal crematorium manager because it was a new project at the time. So the project was we had to stall the burial plot that we have, because we had a lot of people coming in to bring their pets to be buried, but we also felt it would be a better and safer way to dispose animals and waste material like medical waste. So that's how the crematorium project was born.
You mentioned that it's the better and the safest way to dispose.
Yes.
Is that the right word?
Yes.
Dispose animals.
Yes.
Can you take us through the whole process?
We have a state-of-the-art incinerator, and it has 2 chambers. So we have a pet chamber whereby we do private cremations, and then we have a primary chamber, which is a bigger chamber, whereby we do mass cremation or collective disposal cremation. Yes. So ideally for the pet chamber, people can bring their pets. It is licensed as a membership only service. So to access the cremation service, you do have to sign up as a KSPCA member to be able to access that service, among other services that we provide. Yes, but for the private cremation, for the pet chamber, we do private cremations. So anyone can bring their pet. It could be any domestic animal. And then what will happen is we will have a little service for you if you want to do a service. If not, we can proceed with the cremation. We like it for the owner to be there. We are happy to support them even emotionally, because sometimes a lot of people come in grieving. So when that happens, we make sure that when the pet is brought in, whether they want to bring them with flowers or blankets, their favorite blanket, anything, we take care of that. So the private cremation is done in the small chamber. It can take anywhere between 30 minutes, 20 minutes to 3 hours. For the mass cremation or the collective disposal cremation, it is still a service that we also offer to members and vet clinics, whereby if they want to dispose of their medical waste, their biomedical waste, but also if they want to dispose of deceased pets and the owners do not want the ashes back, we provide that service. But also at the same time, because we're an animal shelter with a full clinic, we also do surgeries, we do treatment, so they also have a lot of biomedical waste. But also sometimes maybe when an animal is deceased, it's normal for that to happen in a shelter. Maybe if they have terminal illness, or they have come in a very, very bad state, or they have already come in deceased, we pack them properly into the freezer, and then we schedule the collective disposal cremation on a certain date. In either it could be weekly, it could be monthly, but depending on how many bodies and biomedical waste that we receive, we do that together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kenyans still prefer burying as well as disposing bodies, right?
Yes, yeah.
How are people accepting this cremation of pets actually? Yeah.
For here, it's actually been quite good. Obviously, cremation is something that is important in some communities rather than others. However, we have not had any issue here. A lot of Kenyans bring their pets to be cremated. We have cremated rabbits, we've cremated cats, we've cremated dogs, we have even cremated people's horses. So it's a service that is very well appreciated by members of the public. And we are like I said, we are very empathetic, and we make sure we are there with you through the whole process. So even if you cry, we'll cry with you. So a lot of people have appreciated the service. Doesn't matter from what walk of life, but yeah, we haven't had any complaints as at today.
How often do you get to cremate?
So in a week we can do about 5 cremations. We can do maybe 3 private cremations or 4 private cremations, and then we do 1 collective disposal cremation. It depends. So some months are busier than others. I don't know if that's the appropriate thing to say, but some months do get busier than others. I mean, like this week, for example, we have done about 2 private cremations, and we still have 1 scheduled. We have another 2 scheduled before the end of the week. And we have already done a collective disposal cremation. So weekly, I can say we fire up the machine about maybe 4 to 5 times. Yeah, and we don't fire it up during the weekend unless it's really necessary.
Yeah. And for someone who is hearing this piece for the first time about pet cremation, what will you tell them?
For me, I think cremation is a really good way to go, because you can do so many things with the ashes. You can plant a tree. That's what I plan to do with my dog's ashes. You can dispose of the ashes in the ocean if maybe that's what you prefer. You can turn your ashes into jewelry, your pet's ashes into jewelry. You can turn your pet's ashes into a vase. So there's many different creative ways that you can recycle those ashes.
I want you to extensively talk about the emotional support that you give some of your clients.
Okay.
I feel like it's important. From when they arrive here.
Yes. So here at the KSPCA, because you see, at the end of the day, all of us who work here love animals, and we have experienced grief in one way or another with regards to animals, but also a lot of us have our own pets, so we know how it feels to lose an animal. Losing a pet feels like losing a family member. So a lot of our people who come to cremate here are super emotional. Some cry. Some would like space, to themselves, just to give their pet. So we give them the space that they need. But sometimes the most we can do is also just give them a hug, because I feel we're still in a place where people don't understand pet grief. Pet grief and pet loss is such a huge thing. I mean, you can imagine having a dog for 15 years. That's like your child, and the dog has died due to natural causes related to old age. So I think here, beyond anything, it's just our understanding of how that is, and also just to make them comfortable and for them to know you don't have to go through this alone. So yeah, we stand with them there when they're crying. We hug them, we hold them if we have to, we advise them, we comfort them. We have a lot of things we can tell them. Sometimes we try and entertain them, with silly stories from the shelter, because here there's always something, there's always a story. But at the end of the day, it's about a relationship. So we also try to build that relationship with them, just to let them know that they don't have to go through this alone. There's people who have even come with pastors to have a service. So we sit with them, pray with them. There's some who have little rituals that they want to do for their pets. So we are very accommodating towards any culture, anyone because at the end of the day, it's about the animal.
So Wangari, just take us through the process, like what used to happen here?
Okay. So a lot of our members and supporters would come and bury their pets here, all the way up till the top. We would also bury some of our resident dogs, like Mukombozi. I don't know if you know the story of Mukombozi, the dog who saved a baby very many years ago. She was also a KSPCA dog and was brought here, and she lived out her full life, and then she ended up being buried here as well. But late 2021, early 22 was our last burial, now before the crematorium project was opened. Even if it was closed, people still come to visit their pets. You can see a lot of people bring flowers, plant trees and everything. But maybe now I can show you how the crematorium looks.
Okay, perfect.
In the meantime.
So Wangari, here is where the cremations happen.
Yeah.
But before we even get to the process, what are some of the challenges that you experience?
Here at the crematorium, obviously the biggest challenge we experience is costs. Service and repair of the incinerator is very costly, as well as the fuel cost. When fuel goes up, goes down, that also affects us. Every so often, if there is a power cut, maybe if we're in the middle of a cremation, that also causes us a challenge. But at the end of the day, the biggest challenge that we have is costs, because you need to spend to be able to use such a machine. Yeah, it's quite state of the art, but yeah, I think for now that's our biggest challenge here.
Please take us through how the whole process works.
Our incinerator has 2 chambers. This is the primary chamber, so this is where we do our collective disposal cremation or mass cremation, if you'd like to call it that. And then on this side we have the pet chamber, so this is where we perform all our private cremations. So some pets are bigger than others, so for a horse or a donkey, for example, we will have the horse cremated in the primary chamber. It has a control panel, it has a secondary chamber where all the gases are combusted, and it also goes out into a chimney. So once the cremation is fully done, the only thing that you'll find inside the incinerator is ash. Yes, so maybe our experts can assist you more with information on that.
When the animal comes from maybe the clinic, it comes first here, then it goes to the weighing. There we weigh, we know the kg, we record, we take the record, then we come and to cremate. So it depends. If it is a private cremation, we take it in the private cremation chamber, this one here, and then we do the cremation. So it depends with the kilograms, the kgs that the animal has. So that it will take the longest time or the shortest time. At the same time, we have the collective cremation. That one we put in this big chamber here. So when we put it in this chamber, it's called the primary chamber. This one is called the cremator chamber, and that one is the secondary chamber. So it depends which cremation you are doing. This is a cut of which we are going to do private cremation. It is 3 kilograms. Okay, it is 3 kilograms. Now we want to start the cremation. So the process here we go, we open the cremator chamber, then we put the cut inside. After putting the cut inside, we make sure that we close the door properly. That's how we go. After there, then we come to the incinerator here. We put it on. Then the secondary chamber is on. The cremator chamber is on. Now we give it time because it is 3 kilograms. We can give it 20 minutes, and then there we go. Then we put the machine on. Now the machine is on. Now it is on the preheating. You can see the light is on here. The panel is on. Then after there, it is already on the burning cycle. It has started.